Hi, my name is Adriel William, and today's video is for all the candidates who applied to NYU's Advanced Standing DDS program and got invited recently for their interviews. So last year, I was going through the same process. I applied to NYU, got the invite, went for the interview, and got accepted. But not only just that, during that time, I was actually helping three other candidates for the interview process. And I was fortunate to hear that all three of them got accepted to the program as well. So I feel I could share my own personal experience and the things that I helped those candidates to utilize in their process to get accepted. And before I do that, I would kindly request you, if you like my content and you want me to make more similar videos, kindly hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram because I post a lot of content regarding Caapid, regarding interviews and similar content on my Instagram. So I'm going to share the link. You can go ahead and follow that. So coming to the interview process for the NYU. So last year, because it was COVID and everything was a big, huge mess pretty much everywhere, things were not as organized as they would be this year. So last year what happened is that they called applicants for the interview, and we were being interviewed first by a faculty member, and some of them were in their offices, in the clinic, in different places, even in their houses. Internet connectivity wasn't stable and uniform all across, but it was part of the deal because of COVID, everything was changing at that time. I was fortunate to get interviewed by Dr. Rose, who's a pediatric dentist in NYU. And one of the things that's very important that I want to share with you, that you should take in consideration, that they will read your SOP, your resume, and your supplemental answers very thoroughly. So be prepared to know what you have written. If you got it written or got assistance from somebody else and you don't know what's in your supplemental answers, well, I would say go and read them and find your connectivity and authenticity in it, because it's very important. If you're not authentic and your story says something else and you're a whole different person, that's not a very good place to be in. So look into that thing. Secondly, they might ask you into some clinical questions if you drag your interview towards them. For example, if you have a specialization in prosthodontics and you have mentioned it in your resume, in your personal story, and in other places, well, there's a slight chance the faculty could ask you, okay, you talked about oral and maxillofacial prosthesis. Let's talk about that. So you want to be careful and you want to be prepared. If you mentioned something clinically, they might ask you some questions regarding that. And how would you be answering them? And how much in depth do you want to go? Because if you do not know the topic and you go deeper into it, then you're just going to be opening up a whole new can of worm. So just be careful about that as well. One of the other points that was a very strong part of my interview while I was talking to the faculty member is they want to know, why do you want to come to New York City and why do you want to come to NYU? And that's very important. For me, during my interview, since I talked about my community work that I've done, the nonprofit organization work that I've done in the past, and even during that interview, I talked about my YouTube channel. And she was actually fascinated with this, the whole idea of doing this, and she kept asking me more about this. And then the question arose, how can I utilize all of my past experiences when I come into NYU or come to New York? How I would be able to utilize these experiences while being in that institution, and how I can be a constructive part of it. And NYU has organizations that work with underprivileged community, that works with underprivileged students who are coming from background. So this was quite a, I would say, fascinating point for me to connect with them regarding this. And I was fortunate, Dr. Rose even subscribed to my channel during the interview. That was fun. But you should be careful and you should acknowledge every point in your resume, in your story, that could help you associate with NYU. NYU has a lot of things going on. They have a lot of research, they have community work, they have clinical work, they have a lot going on. But you need to find out in specifically what connects you to the institute. So you need to find out what is strong in your resume that makes you stand out and that also enables you to connect to NYU, because NYU, as I just said, has a lot of things going on. So make sure you find that strong abilities in your resume and your personal life, both of them, and connect them with NYU. And I would advise, do not fall into that hack and crack methods of just copying answers or just reading from the Google, or just feeling, oh, if Dr. Adriel said this in the last interview, maybe I will say the same thing and I will get in. I wouldn't suggest. That's not very authentic. Do not try to copy just randomly. Think through this. If you like an idea, tailor it, articulate it in a manner that it actually fits into your personal life. That's how it should flow. That would be my advice. And after the interview with the faculty, the next part was the interview with the admission committee, and they are usually people from the administrative staff. They could be the program director and other people. And one of the core focus thing that they are looking into is whether this person would be able to come to New York City and would be able to survive in New York. Because getting admission in the institution is one thing, but living in New York and surviving there for the next 28 months is a whole different animal. And a lot of people know it comes with a price. It has a lot of stress. And usually people who get admissions in 2 or 3 places would rather not go to NYU. And I was one of them, and I had my own reasons. But the point I'm making is, when they are taking this interview, they are actually screening the process. They are doing I would say, a filter work and asking you questions and looking at your answers, whether you will be a person who will come to New York or not, because they don't want to give you acceptance and waste their time. That's one of the core focus things. So you would need to find in your application what clings to that idea, what makes you a strong candidate that you will move to New York City and you will continue to study there for 28 months. One of the biggest issues that any dental school or any institution in the United States have is the risk of student dropping off. If there's too much stress, the city is hectic, the traveling is too much, somebody has personal life issues, health issues going on, and they drop off, the school suffers a lot of loss in that scenario. So that's why when they are doing an interview, they are making sure whether this person will stick around or not. One other point is that I have made a video on tips and techniques and preparation techniques that you can utilize for your interview. I'm posting a link of that. That's a very generic way or generic techniques that everybody should use for their interview preparation. But if you want help in specifically with NYU's interview, I would suggest you could reach out to me. My number, my email address is in the description, and we can connect to a time where we can set up individual sessions or maybe even a group session for a couple of people, and then prepare you in the best manner for NYU so you can achieve the goals that you have thought in your life. So that would be my advice for now, and I wish you all the best. And do subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I will see you in a more meaningful video. See you soon.